Okay, so I'm going to cut to the chase here in terms of the justification for the Green New Deal resolution. So there's a lot of stuff you can read. It gives a lot of statistics, but it boils down to this. At the end of the day, it says, whereas climate change constitutes a direct threat to the national security of the United States by impacting the economic, environmental, and social stabilities of countries and communities around the world, and by acting as a threat multiplier. Whereas the federal government-led mobilizations during World War II and the New Deal created the greatest middle class that the United States has ever seen, but many members of frontline and vulnerable communities are defined above, and it's pretty much everybody you'd think of as being thrown under the bus by rich people. So frontline and vulnerable communities were excluded from many of the economic and societal benefits of these mobilizations. And whereas the House of Representatives recognizes that a new national, social, industrial, and economic mobilization on a scale not seen since World War II and the New Deal era is a historic opportunity to create millions of good high-wage jobs in the United States, to provide unprecedented levels of prosperity and economic security for all people of the United States, and to counteract systemic injustices. Now, therefore, be it resolved. And that's the justification, okay? Now, I'm going to read you some of the goals that they've created. So these are the goals of the Green New Deal resolution. And remember, again, it's a resolution. It's saying this is what we really ought to do. And it's not saying we must do this, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So A, to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions through a fair and just transition for all communities and workers. B, to create millions of good high-wage jobs and ensure prosperity and economic security for all people of the United States. C, to invest in the infrastructure and the industry of the United States to sustainably meet the challenges of the 21st century. D, to secure for all people of the United States for generations to come. And here's the list: clean air and water, climate and community resiliency, healthy food, access to nature, and a sustainable environment. Okay, and goal E, to promote justice and equity by stopping current, preventing future, and repairing historic oppression of indigenous peoples, communities of color, migrant communities, deindustrialized communities, depopulated rural communities, the poor, low-income workers, women, the elderly, the unhoused, people with disabilities, and youth. And that group of people are what are going to be referred to in the resolution as frontline and vulnerable communities. In other words, they're all the people who are being thrown under the bus. I'm surprised they didn't include veterans, but they're fall in there too, I'm sure. Anyhow, so those are the goals, the official goals. There's just 5 of them, okay? And you can listen back to this again. I think they're pretty clear. And I'm not saying yay or nay. I'm just here to report this to you, okay?